Welcome back once again, folks. This is another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, aka Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. I'm here with my bro host extraordinaires.
You know what it is. It's your boy Guaranteed, Mr. Never Miss, Mr. Paper Chaser. Who the fuck is on the other side of that table?
Y'all know what it is. It's Ray Bucks. It's Shackle Jordan. It is Mr. 10 wins last week. What do you want from me? God damn, I'm
no
great.
No way. I mean, they're not consecutive, but you got the win. We'll give you that. You can't call it back-to-back.
I never said it was back-to-back. But what I did say was belt to ass. Mr. Give me my belt, hand me my crown.
Hey, I want to say something, but you did. You got another card. I mean, we all fared pretty well, but you did get another card. And, salute to you, my friend.
A couple participation trophies for my co-host here, and you know what
I mean? Well, real quick, y'all. We are here once again at the historic, the great Whiskey Bar Denver, 2203 Larimer Street in lovely, would they still call it Lodo? I don't know if they still call it Lodo. I don't go out like that
I would say
more.
It's Lodo, yeah.
Okay, for sure. Lower downtown Denver, y'all. Shouts out to them. Make sure that you stop by, check out a live taping, or, just ask for some drink specials up top and, have a good time, But we are here to cover this weekend's card. We have UFC Qatar going down in Doha, pretty much, I want to say out in the Middle East and stuff like that. It's a 14-fight card headlined by a lightweight matchup with title implications. We have Arman Tsarukyan going up against Dan Hooker. We also have a welterweight matchup co-headlining. We have former champion Belal Muhammad going up against Ian Machado Garry. Once again, this is slated to be a 14-fight card. It almost went to 13, but Waldo Cortez Acosta stepping in on super short notice. We will get to that later on. But, gents, before we get into anything, any thoughts outside of, last week's great performance? Anything else on our minds?
I got something to fucking say. Just in the comments, let me know if you feel the same. I felt like Islam could have submitted that for him. I feel like he could have broke his arm on that Kimura if he would have really got after it. I feel like there's a little bit of holdback. And that holdback cost me $100. You know what I mean? So, if I'm the only one, tell me. If not, you know what I mean? You feel the same way? I feel like this fool held back, and he could have submitted this dude out a couple of times, but he was just like, "Oh, I can't." He rittered him, which was pretty much got not a submission, but a grappling performance without a finish. So that's the new term. He got de-rittered.
I do agree. I think Islam could have ended that one earlier. I felt like he played with his boot. I felt like he just stretched the fight out for whatever reason. Made no sense to me because I think he could have got him out of there in the third round. But that's heads nor tails at this point because at the end of the day, I still won that.
Makhachev usually runs in Khabib's shadow. He's starting to slightly make his way out of it. But I think if you were to talk about something that separates those two, that is exactly that. Like, Makhachev is one to want to play with his food and kind of match you at what you're good at. So if you are a striker, then he wants to test himself a little bit. And I'd say more often than not, in these fights, there's a moment where Khabib has to literally yell at that fool and be like, yo, why the fuck are you playing around, bro? Like, absolutely. You know what gets us to the show. You know how we get this shit done. Like, get him the fuck out of here, and I agree with you as well. Makhachev could have got him out of there, but he just, he wanted to, I think, show dominance and send a message to the rest of the division, like, this is what to expect. Like, this was your guy. Like, almost like on some fucking Black Panther shit. Like, this is your king, Like, psh, That was
What
nothing.
better way to show
he-
dominance than to just choke a man out?
He fucking Chimaev'd him. Like, in my opinion, like you said, he got DeRittered. I feel like he got Chimaev'd because, and JDM got Duplicit'd. You know, like.
You can't call that because now one crucifix, like Dricus Duplessis will always be the fucking the crucifix champ to me, because that dude was putting the crucifix so many times and it was ridiculous. I had my son trying to do the crucifix on me and I was showing him what it was like, and trust me, it's a hard position, you know what I mean, but you know how much you'd have to do to get there to get me in that fucking position. You know what I mean, like. So as a pro fighter, I was disappointed.
Well, real quick, want to send a quick shout outs to the chat. We got Cesar Marin in here.
What's
He
up,
says,
Cesar?
it's almost my bedtime. I'm old. I'm trying to hang with y'all boys. It's going to be a good card. Shouts out to him.
Hey, tell him to come out. Yo, come out and have a drink, Cesar. Put your fucking pants back on, Buffalo.
I think he lives in Florida, my G. Shouts out to Cash Cole. We got Fight Bloodline in the building. Shouts out Cash Cole.
up,
Be
Cash?
Ready 303. Make sure to subscribe to their channel. He said, let's go. He said Ray can go back to back. Like, he's saying that you might have another card in the bag here.
He ain't Jordan. He ain't fucking Jordan.
And then we also got Jamal Witherspoon. I think JDM and Craig Jones only trained submission defense and focused on submission defense rather than standing up. I disagree a bit. That was actually something that JDM's coach and I think Pops came out and said here, or maybe it's just his coach, I'm not sure, but that was what he basically said was the reasoning behind them losing is JDM didn't move his feet enough and just didn't implement his plan enough, and I was too worried about what Islam was doing.
Yeah, there's really no progression from the ground the position he was put in. Even though he was fighting off in these submissions, I feel like I don't know, in the past, if you watch Islam, when he goes after submissions, he's like a dog. Like, he latches onto that thing, he latches as hard as he can, he's putting everything in. For these submissions, I feel like he was just kind of half in. And even though, it could have been Jack Della Maddalena was a lot stronger than what he thought, you know what I mean? Arm to arm wise, or 2-to-1, as far as like, when you're doing a 2-on-1 hand fight. I just, it just didn't look like the Islam, like the killer instinct Islam. I feel like it was too easy with getting the unanimous decision as long as it was a win. But I could be wrong. It could have been, he trained for that, but I don't know. For him to go through all that for 4 rounds, 5 rounds, that shit was boring.
Well, with that being said, y'all, let's get into this card. Like I said, we got 14 bouts to break down. UFC Qatar going down early in the morning, y'all. If you're here in the States, just know you got an early one ahead of you. It's going to be about 8 a.m. our time. So that means 6 a.m. on the East, and then
9
on the
9 in
West
California.
Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, you know what? You've been checking me on that lately and telling me I think you're wrong, and you were right. I was wrong. I was putting like 2 hours on California, but anyways, let's break down this first bout, y'all. We got going on. We have a heavyweight matchup to start things off. We got 2 newcomers. We got Marek Bulho going up against Denzel Freeman. We got Marek Bulho coming in, UFC debut, a perfect 6-0 overall. We got Freeman coming in, making their UFC debut, 6-1 overall and 4-1 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Freeman in this one by either KO or decision. They're gonna be the older fighter by a couple years and the smaller of the two. Somewhat well-rounded in their skill set, but to be honest, I don't have much info on them outside of that. I would just suggest, they weather the early storm and take, Bulho to deep water in this one. What I noticed is, in my opinion, they've faced stronger competition leading up to this fight. The one thing I would say with them drawing them out to deep water is if they can't get a finish, they do have to make this this decision victory definitive, given the location. I think anything close, these cards get a little funky outside of Vegas. And we've already got a bunch of other weird stuff already that's been surrounding the sport so far. So you know, I'm going to go with Freeman in this one. Buellholz's going to be the younger and bigger of the two, somewhat well-rounded in his skill set. Same thing, not much info on them. They should come out strong, though, but measured in their output, being that they don't really go to the distance that often. They've had weaker competition faced, though, like I said, which ultimately put Freeman over for me. But it's not to say Buellholz isn't live. But, yeah, I think that he's going to have to come out strong, and he's not going to want to look to go to the distance in this one. I got Freeman. Who we got, y'all?
I'm taking Buellholz. I feel like Denzel Freeman has gotten he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's gotten that knockout power, but I feel like Buellholz got, with his undefeated record he's got going on, he's got 6 stand-up wins. He's got 3 submissions. I feel like he has more routes to victory, and he's going to be a little bit more, he's got more to gain off of this fight. I feel like his undefeated streak and, though we don't know much about these two, I feel like Buellholz for me makes more sense for the win, for taking the dub.
Well, I think Buellholz's going to look like a butthole. We're going with Freeman. Freeman's a weight bully. You know what I mean? We're talking about a guy that's going to come in at 260, 265 versus Buellholz, who's going to come in at 240. We're talking about 20 pounds. And Buellholz, it just fights bums. You know what I mean? He's literally street fighting.
I feel like Denzel Freeman has a limited gas tank because he has a high output, because he's one of those guys that goes for the finish, and he's not in shape for something like that, which means after a couple of hard rushes or charges, he has a tendency to, in the later rounds, even the second round, kind of to fall off if he has a high output of first round.
Well, I'm hoping that he puts that extra 20 pounds of weight into a couple of those punches in the first round and just calls it a night.
That fucking Chris Barnett wannabe mother.
Hey, Jamal Witherspoon agrees in the chat. Shout out to them. Regional fighters gonna be winning decisions. That's what I'm saying. So Freeman, it would be in his best interest to look for a finish in this, but if he does end up going to the cards, he literally has to make it nothing but undeniable. You know
for sure.
I mean?
He is on
Anything less.
2-week win streak.
Yeah. And I just feel like he does have, he's went the distance. He has experience doing that, although he's 1-1 in decision victories or in losses. Still, I feel like he has that experience, and as long as he doesn't let the jitters get to him, and same goes for Buellholz. I think both of these fighters are live, but I'm going with Freeman ultimately. But moving on to our next bout on the night, we have a lightweight matchup. We have Nurulio Aliev going up against Shakweme Rock. Know about Shakweme Rock, he is training partners with Paddy Pimblett. That was something that I found out. But we got Aliev coming in 2-0 in the UFC, a perfect 10-0 overall. We got Rock coming in making their UFC debut. They are 12-1 with 1 draw overall and are 4-0 with that 1 draw in their last 5 bouts. I'm going to be going with Aliev in this one by decision. They're going to be the younger and the shorter of the 2 fighters. Well-rounded, definitely a decision machine. Haven't got to see them much, but the last time I did see them out, from what I can loosely remember, they were effective against decent UFC competition. So you got Rock coming in, the older of the 2, taller, somewhat well-rounded in their skill set, but they're definitely going to lean more so into the grappling. Makes sense being Paddy Pimblett's partner. Not much info on them outside of that, but they're going to want to look to get this to the ground, control, and or open up a finish. Definitely need to manage their output, not let the UFC jitters get to them. And once again, anything less than a definitive victory going into the cards, it's going to be rough for them. So I'm going to be going with Aliev. Who we got, y'all?
I'm taking Shaquem Rock. I feel like he's coming in to do a little bit of stand-up because he has that stand-up knockout power. But ultimately, this guy wants to be on the ground. This guy does his damage on the ground. He's a one call weight bully, but he's very forceful. Submission-wise, if I was going to take this for a decision, any kind of method of victory, I'd be going for a decision. Yeah, this guy's just going to go in there and dominate, whether this guy's ready for some stand-up or some ground game, you know what I mean? I feel like he's just going to go in there and kind of starch this dude. Kind of an easy layup. What do you think, Ray?
I can't trust a fucking black dude from Britain. It is what it is.
Hey,
I'm
the black on black crime's got to stop.
I'm
Ray.
just saying, bro.
The shit's got to stop.
Hey, bruv, like I can't do it, bro. It's just not in me. Don't believe he's gonna make it happen. We're talking about him fighting against Aliyev, who's undefeated, 8 years younger than him. I'm just like, what are we talking about? I think this is an easy layup for Aliyev. Again, also from his part of the world. So that being said, I'm going with Aliyev.
But he's only gotten 2 victories of knockout, no submissions, and 8 decisions. I mean, he's popular in the high output route.
He reminds me of kind of like Movsar Evloev, you know, not the most entertaining, but very efficient, you know, and I think it's kind of what the UFC is looking for here is like they're going to keep going with him. You know, he's undefeated.
Sure.
Appeals to a demographic in Tajikistan, you know, so that's always good. But then you got, you know, the other guy coming in, Rock, who is teammates with Paddy Pimblett, so that's automatic, you know, like stardom from affiliation. And then, you know, if he's able to get him the fuck out of there, then the UFC is going to definitely, like, thank you. Got one of these grappling-ass decision machines out of here. Fucking, let's get you up in here, you know, strap a semi, you know, jetpack to you and see where you go from there, you know, because they also, they have another teammate on this card as well who will be making their debut, but we'll get into that later on in the evening. But yeah, so I'm going with, I'm going with Aliyev. Bro's going with Aliyev.
I'm taking Rock.
You're going with Rock. Okay, for sure. Let's move on to this next bout.
Okay, bruv.
All right, moving on to the third matchup on this card. We have a middleweight joint going on between Ryan Loder against Ismail Nardiev. We got Loder coming in 1-1 in the UFC, 7-2 overall, and are 3-2 in their last 5 bouts. We got Nardiev coming in 3-3 in the UFC, 24-8 overall, and are 2-3 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Loder in this one by KO or decision. They're gonna be the older of the two by 5 years, bigger in stature, a striker primarily in their skill set. They're gonna want to look to weather the early storm of Nardiev and take them to the deep water. Keep it standing. Don't get into any grappling exchanges or anything like that. But once again, a decision victory has to be definitive considering the location. Nardiev's going to be younger and smaller of the two, well-rounded in their skill set. Should look to mix it up and lean into where they find the advantage, which I believe is going to be most likely on the ground. They just need to avoid getting stuffed and gassing late in this fight, which is kind of what happened to them last time out. And I'll say they came back to the UFC for a second stint, rounded off a couple of wins, but when you look at those wins, they're not that great, if you ask me. And then when, you know, they tried to stack him up against someone a little more stiff in competition, he wasn't able to bring it home. So ultimately, I think Ryan Loder can do the same, basically just gas him and take the victory home, but he's going to need a victory or a definitive decision to get this one, but I'm going with Loder. Who we got?
I took Loder as well. I mean, there's a lot of experience on the other side. 12 wins, 2 losses. 12 wins by KO or TKO. 2 losses, 6 submission wins for. And I'm going down for. I'm talking about Nardiev. Yeah, he's got a lot of experience on the other side. I'm taking Loder as well, though. I feel like Loder's going to come out and dominate. You know, he's got really awesome footwork. He's going to control his space, range management, pick his shots, and not get caught up on the cage with these dirty Muay Thai punches. Who you got over there, Rick?
I'm going to have to go with Nardiev. Nardiev is just a better wrestler. Ryan Loder, and I don't think Ryan Loder's the better striker of the two, but Ryan Loder's isn't head and shoulders above Nardiev in striking. Is that where his bread and butter is going to be? Yes, but if he fucking back touches the mat, it's a wrap. They'll be loading fucking Loder on a plane back to the States.
I think Loder's throwing his load on Nardiev.
Whoa. Yo, pause, yo.
Hey, shout out Natalia, shout out Gabriel, real quick. I love you guys.
Gonna have to go from like no Diddy to no Bilal on that one.
Yeah, no Bilal. Man, keep it PG-13.
No Bilal, y'all.
Hey, anybody who tries to shine light, any kind of silver lining on the Epstein files,
Bro,
my Lanta.
Bro, that was when I heard it. I literally
That was the most democratic thing I ever heard. Just joking.
I was shocked, and then literally immediately in my head was like, man, this was like content. Like this is a gift. Like literally, I felt like a gift dropped out of the sky, and I was like, well, it's time to make a video real quick.
That's where we're different. I was like, huh?
Yeah, bro. Like,
Oh well, I mean, you can tell from my
Oh,
response was like, yo, what the fuck? But
it was
then
on par for sure.
yeah, but then it was like, yo, I gotta make a video real quick.
and like, was he like drunk at the press conference? Because like that was like a drunken ass answer.
Dog, I think he was trying to be fucking clever and just realized like
That's not something
that
to be
clever.
clever about. Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the next one, though.
Yes, indeed.
He's like
Yes,
saying
indeed.
if I was there, we would have only been wrestling. Stop it, Belal. Nobody believes it.
Moving on to the fourth matchup on this card, we have a bantamweight matchup between Bekzat Almakhan going up against the other Topuria brother, Alexandre Topuria. We have Almakhan coming in 1-1 in the UFC, 12-2 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5. We got Topuria coming in 1-0 in the UFC, 6-1 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Topuria in this one by either decision or sub. They're gonna be the slightly older of the two by a year, well-rounded in their skill set, and in my opinion should look to mix it up, lean into where they find their advantage, which I believe is most likely going to take place on the ground. They just need to avoid any long-standing exchanges with Bekzat. And I would say even in this matchup, even though they're from Georgia, which I don't know. I guess you got Georgia, Kazakhstan. I don't necessarily know where they play in the hierarchy
potato.
I don't know where they play in the hierarchy of like Russian, countries or whatever, but given the location, they may want to just make sure that if this does go to the cards, they make it definitive. And I guess same could be said for Bekzat. They're going to be slightly younger. Striker primarily. Should definitely look to keep this fight standing and stay measured with their approach and their output. I would say best method would just be to point fight to victory unless a finish opens up. And, they're very live to catch Topuria, in this one. And this is actually a very good matchup for both sides. Almakhan, if y'all remember, came in short notice to face Umar Nurmagomedov and actually fared pretty well. May have even took him to a decision, I'm not sure. But, yeah. I still, though, believe that Topuria is going to be the more well-rounded of the two. He's training with the fucking champion in his brother. So I'm going to go with Alexandre. Who we got, y'all?
I'm going with Bekzat Almakhan. And let me explain to you why. I mean, he's got more knockouts. He's got more of a stand-up type of game. I feel like Topuria is kind of like this push name, like, a little bit of steroids pumped into this name, expecting him to have such a high output. I just don't like, he's nothing like Ilya Topuria. I'm not going to say he's good just because his brother is really good, but he's got 3 wins of a knockout, 2 submissions, and 1 decision. What are we talking about? Experience-wise, he's going up against a fucking dog who has not a whole lot of wins on the ground. He's got 1 win on the ground, but he's got 10 wins TKO. I just feel like he's going to have the more polished boxing, and it's probably going to be the more dominant fighter in there. And I feel like until Topuria's brother can show me that he's worthy of this stature, I'm just going to treat him like any other guy. So what do you think, Ray?
I'm going with Topuria. I
guys
think
are
you guys
fucking
have
sorry.
both, you know what I mean, made very good points. I believe that his opponent does have better hands. But again, are we talking about outshining him, outclassing him hands? There's a difference when you just have, you know what I mean, a step above. So do I think Topuria should sit there and trade strikes with him? No. But do I think he should trade strikes to get openings, to get to the wrestling, to get to the ground game? Absolutely. And that's where he wins this fight.
Yep.
So, do I believe he's going to be able to sub him? I don't think so. I think it's going to end in decision. I don't. Again, as you said, I don't know. Depending on where they're at across the pond, if it matters to either one of them on the decision part of it. But I believe this one will be wrestled to a decision by Topuria, and it'll be so definitive, and he'll have so much control time that you really can't not say he won.
For sure. Cesar Marin in the chat says, Little Topuria is not his brother, but I feel like this fight is going to expose him, and hopefully he steps up. I mean, he's not facing a slouch. I just feel like he's more well-rounded. He's going to have some decent striking, and he's going to have good grappling to match, good striking to match Beksa on the feet, and then we'll be able to mix it into the grappling, which then I feel like he has the advantage. So that's really why I took him, but to be totally
Cesar
honest.
knows what he's talking about. As they would call, es palabra, bro. Esta palabra, that's word, bro. He knows what he's talking about.
Okay, well, we will see early Saturday morning, y'all. Moving on to the next bout, we have a light heavyweight matchup. We have Abdul Rahman Yakiev going up against Rafael Sequeira. We got Yakiev coming in, making their UFC debut. They are 7-0 overall. Sequeira is coming in 0-3 in the UFC, 11-3 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Yakiev in this one by either KO or decision. They're gonna be the younger and slightly shorter of the two fighters with a longer reach. Well-rounded in their skill set, should look to mix it up and lean into where they find their advantage. Should avoid getting caught by Sequeira, who, that's their specialty is, knockout wins. But otherwise, to me, this looks like a launch pad fight and or fraud checking if he does manage to lose to Sequeira. Like, this will look really bad if he loses to a dude that's 0-3, who pretty much started losing once he joined the organization. So, that'll really say, a lot about Yakiev if he's not able to get this one done. So I believe they're trying to, set him up real nice. Sequeira is going to be the older of the two by 11 years. So the major age difference there as well. He's going to be slightly taller but less rangy of the two. Well-rounded in his skill set on paper. He should look to keep this one standing at distance, though. Move around the cage and only grapple if that's somewhere that they happen to find an advantage. But they're going to want to avoid getting into any firefights or lengthy scrambles with Yakiev, depending on if Yakiev starts to find, some footing in either one of those departments. But I would say for Sequeira as well, he's probably going to want to fish for that finish because, once again, given the location, he needs a definitive victory if this one goes to the cards. I'm going with Yakiev. Who we got, y'all?
I'm going with Yakiev as well. Undefeated. All the pressure's on Sequeira. I just don't see him. If he was going to do something, he would have already done it, right? There's two trajectories in this fight. Somebody on their way up and somebody on their way down. I'm rolling with the guy that's on his way up. So I'm going with Yakiev. Who do you have, Ray?
That was a great analysis. That's how I feel about it. We got one fighter who's on a slide and one fighter who's on a fucking launch pad. So Yakiev for the win. I don't think there's much to talk about here. We're talking about a guy who's 0-3 in the UFC and on his way out. There'll be Ryan Loader will help him load himself up onto the fucking plane as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ray. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Cesar Marin says somebody getting slumped in this fight.
Facts.
Definitely. Early in the morning.
Somebody's going to wake up just to go back to bed.
Oh, shit. All right, y'all. Moving
Gotta
on
love
to the next matchup. We have a flyweight matchup. My apologies, y'all. We got Alex Perez going up against Asu Almabayev. We got Perez coming in 7-5 in the UFC, 25-9 overall, and are 1-4 in their last 5 bouts. We got Almabayev coming in 5-1 in the UFC, 22-3 overall, and are 4-1 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Almabayev in this one by either decision or sub. They're gonna be the younger and shorter of the two fighters, somewhat well-rounded in their skill set, but I'd say they definitely lean more towards the grappling aspect. They should look to get this fight to the ground ASAP and control and/or open up a finish. They need to manage their energy and secure solid takedowns if they are going to go the grappling route, though. And in this one, they're definitely going to want to avoid long-standing exchanges with Alex Perez, who I'll say, y'all, he actually is pretty live in this fight. If you're going to pick a dog on this card, I would say Alex Perez is somebody to look at.
I don't know. Almabayev is a pretty certain he's going to be the dominant wrestler in this.
Oh, for sure. No, and that's Perez's. You can see it on paper. That's his weakness for sure.
Yeah.
But if Almabayev isn't able to get that grappling going, he's proven to be a butt scooter at that point, and then he starts to gas as time goes on. Manel Kopp, kind of exposed him last time out.
Almabayev's going to take his back, and he's not going to be able to do anything to stop it. No Belal.
Perez is going to be the older of the two by 2 years. Well-rounded in their skill set. Should definitely look to keep this fight standing in that distance, though. Piece Almabayev up to decision or until the finish opens up. They just need to avoid grappling, especially early on with Almabayev. A decision victory, though, once again, has to be definitive if they plan to get one over on the cards. And another cause for concern is Perez is coming off an injury and a year-plus layoff as a result. So, he's going to need to get that ring rust off of him, try to catch up the fight speed. And I don't know if Almabayev and, somebody who their strong suit is your weak suit is the best way to get things going. But it does put you right back in the mix if you do get this going. So I am going with Almabayev, but Perez is live, y'all. Just keep that in mind.
I'm going with Almabayev as well. This might be one of these, I hate to say it could potentially be one of these boring fights because one side is so dominant on one end with one thing that he could just hold his back and hold him to the ground and not necessarily progress, but do just enough damage to get the win. I hope not. But if you do, I feel like in each one of these cards, I could spot out a fight that's probably potentially going to be boring, where you could just take a step out and come down to a whiskey bar and have yourself a drink. It'd be a perfect time. And I'm calling this fight right here. This is going to be the battle of two people. So one guy going for the forceful takedown on the ground, and the other guy just fighting it off because Almabayev doesn't like to stand up, and he doesn't care to take the damage, you know what I mean? And Perez is a little bit too dangerous to be standing up and taking risks. So I'm going with, I'm calling this boring fight of the night. Asu Almabayev, and that's my whiskey lounge, whiskey bar, boring pick of the night. Come and have a drink.
Pick of the night. Go get a drink. I'm going with Perez.
Really good.
Right?
I really like that.
I'm going to go with Perez over Almabayev.
Hey, he's only lucky because Bo Nickel fought last fucking weekend because Bo Nickel's getting that shit every weekend. Yeah.
I mean, it is going to be a boring fight. I think either one of them are pretty live to win. I just like Perez in this spot because, you know what I mean, I think the value's there. He's, I think, a plus 200 underdog right now. So if you're going to bet some money and you want to win some money, that's the way to bet some money and win some money.
Yeah.
Boring-ass fight. We can move on.
All right. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. I feel like if Alex Perez does do well, that'll be the exciting aspect. If this goes Almabayev's way, it's going to be boring.
For sure.
If this goes Perez's way, we're more than likely to see a finish in spectacular fashion, some sort of knockout or TKO. But I get what y'all are saying though, definitely. Moving on to the next fight on this card, we have a welterweight matchup. We have Sayed Izgagmayev going up against Nicholas Dalby. We got Izgagmayev making their UFC debut, 22-2 overall. We got Dalby coming in 7-5 with 1 draw and 1 no contest in the UFC. 23-6 with 1 draw and 2 no contests overall, and are 3-2 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Izgagmayev by KO or submission. They're gonna be the younger and taller of the 2 fighters, well-rounded in their skill set. Not much info on them outside of that, but they definitely should just look to get a W in this fight. Not get outlasted or outdogged by Dalby, because I know this is what the UFC is doing.
It's going to be a wrestling match. I feel like Izgagmayev he's coming in to wrestle. He's not coming in to point strike with this dude, but these Russian fighters are freaking dogs.
Well, Dalby's being put in there. That's what the UFC does with Dalby, is they put him in there to test fighters, to see where they're at. He's a gatekeeper for sure. Definitely a gatekeeper. He's going to be the older of the 2 by 10 years. Shorter. You're fine. You're fine. He's going to be the older of the fighters by 10 years. Shorter in stature, but well-rounded in his skill set. A decision machine for sure, but a durable and dog fighter. He's going to want to weather the early storm and draw Izgagmayev to deep water. But once again, in doing that, he's going to definitely want to fish for a finish, or he's going to want to make this decision victory very definitive. Like, he's going to have to lay it on Izgagmayev for him to run away with this one by any other means than a finish. But I'm going with Izgagmayev. Who we got, y'all?
I'm taking Izgagmayev as well. Just to keep it short and sweet, we're coming in to wrestle. We're coming in to dominate. I feel like Nicholas Dalby is a high guard fighter. He has that high Muay Thai clinch. I wouldn't say there's not a very good chance, but for him to stand in front of Izgagmayev, I feel like it's going to be too much, because Miles not going to be able to let him stand there without taking punishment. And I feel like Dalby is not going to. He's not going to have the. I think he's going to get taken to the ground and handled on the ground. Personally, what do you got, Ray?
I'm going to go with Izgak. You know what I mean? What are we talking about? I mean, I really appreciate you guys' breakdowns, but I feel like they're too long. We're talking about a fucking 41-year-old against a 31-year-old. 10 years difference. My guy Dalby's on a 2-fight fucking slide. This is a layup. You know what I mean?
Dalby was the one who fucking humbled Bombfiend, bruh. He made Gabriel Bombfiend look like a fool.
Sucks. It's like talking about Ronda Rousey. Gabriel Bombfiend?
That's a wild comparison.
I'm sorry, I'm not impressed with either one of the Bombfiends. And I think Ronda Rousey would starch fucking Gabriel Bombfiend.
Hold up, bro.
That's
wild work.
We got.
And was it Gabriel or was it the other bomb theme?
No, it was Gabriel.
Okay.
Yeah. Friggin' Cesar Marin says, "Old man getting rocked. I'm sorry, but he's gonna get dusted like home plate."
That should have been my breakdown. I should have just read the comments.
Oh shit. Yeah. And then Ron Reed says, "Darren, open your eyes."
I'm trying, bro. There's a lot of light in here. Thank you.
Shouts out to the chat, y'all. Okay, moving on to the next and featured prelim on this card. We have Luke Riley going up against Bogdan Grad. We got Riley, a teammate of Paddy Pimblett, and another fighter on this card, Shamik Rock. He's making his UFC debut, 11-0 overall. We got Grad coming in 1-1 in the UFC. 15-3 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Grodd in this one by submission or KO. They're gonna be the older of the two by 4 years, slightly shorter in stature, but well-rounded in their skill set. Definitely gonna wanna look to mix this one up, lean into where they find the advantage, which in my opinion will be on the ground. Need to just stay measured with their output, avoid gassing late, and avoid long-standing exchanges with Riley. Riley's gonna be the younger and taller of the two fighters.
Can I just get rid of the elephant in the room? This dude doesn't look like he's old enough to be in this fucking fight.
Riley looks fucking like a youngin', bruh.
Yeah, and then Bogdan Grad looks like Big Daddy from Cincinnati driving a big red fucking caddy. He's coming to wreck some shit.
Riley's gonna be a striker primarily. I don't have too much more info on him outside of that. They're gonna want to look to keep this fight standing at distance and just like try to open up a finish, draw Grodd out to deep water. They just need to avoid grappling if possible, but I'm sure they got something in their bag, being Himblitz and Rock's training partner, and them having, you know, grappling prowess like that. But once again, decision victories have to be definitive. I will literally say that for every fight that I suspect that in, because it cannot be expressed like enough. You got to keep that in mind when making these picks, especially on these international cards and, you know, cards that take place on the East Coast.
Yeah, I feel like Grad's gonna come and manhandle this little twink-looking fella. I ain't got much more to say. What do you think?
I don't see Grodd losing the kid from Malcolm in the Middle either.
Seriously. Seriously. He does not look old enough to be in there fighting.
He doesn't look like he's old enough to be in there
fighting. His mom's
fighting.
going to pop in there and smack the shit out of whoever's trying to beat up her kid.
Doesn't look like his balls have dropped yet. I mean, can he even grow pubic hair at this point? Like, get this kid out of here. Like, we're going with Bogdan Grodd.
He looks like he's going to get some hair in funny places in the future and start liking girls.
Yeah, I'm not even... He looks like he hasn't even started using deodorant yet. Like, what are we talking about?
He don't even stink yet.
Y'all are wildin', bruh. Y'all are wildin'. I'm clipping this one, y'all. This is the clip. This is the clip of the fucking episode for sure.
Sorry, it just had to be said.
It did.
Just me, right?
No, absolutely not.
Y'all are wildin'.
I literally have it written down. Malcolm in the Middle.
All right, y'all. Moving on to the main card opener, y'all. We got a flyweight matchup. We have Kyoji Horiguchi going up against Tagir Ulanbekov. We got Horiguchi coming back for the second time in the UFC, which is hilarious. They're 7-1 in the UFC, so they were doing well, you know, but for some reason ended up, you know, going on to fight for other organizations. But, you know, they're making a comeback now. They're 34-5 with 1 no contest overall, and are 4-0 with 1 no contest in their last 5 matchups. We got Ulanbekov coming in 6-1 in the UFC, 17-2 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 matchups. I'm going to be going with Horiguchi in this one by decision. They're going to be the older of the two by a year, smaller in stature, but well-rounded in their skill set. They're going to definitely want to look to keep this one standing up and at distance, draw Ulanbekov out to deep water, and try and, you know, get him out of there at that point, or at least just put a cap on it to make this finish or a decision potentially, like, definitive. Because I feel like Ulanbekov has shown cardio issues in the past, especially if they're not able to get their grappling going early on. They're going to be the younger and bigger of the two fighters, well-rounded in their skill set, and should look to close the distance, get this one to the ground as soon as possible. But once again, they have to be measured with their output because they've been known to gas late. So they're going to want to open up a finish. They are going to test themselves on the feet with Horiguchi, but eventually, you know, they're going to start turning into a grappler, which for me I hope is, you know, later than sooner. And, you know, then Horiguchi can kind of, you know, take over later on in the fight. That's who I'm going with. Who we got, y'all?
I'm taking Horiguchi. I'm telling you why I like Horiguchi, because even if this man cannot finish, he's most of the time favored in the decisions. He has a high output, really good gas tank. Not a guy you want to stand in front of. He can't do it on the ground. He's just an exciting fighter to watch. I feel like Alan Bekoff is just, like you said on one of these fights before here, there's two different trajectories of these fights. I got the guy with the experience on his way up, and somebody you would consider somewhat a veteran by now. He's been around long enough, on his way down. So I'm taking Horiguchi. Ain't nothing to fucking debate there. I mean, Ray might.
Fucking absolutely right. I'll debate that fucking shit.
God damn it.
Ulanbekov, what are we talking about? Fucking Horiguchi? Ulanbekov's gonna grab him by the coochie.
You think You think Khabib gets fucking mad at fucking Makhachev, bro? Watch Khabib when he corners fucking Ulanbekov, bro. He fucking loses his mind, bro, because that fool fucking just ain't cut from that cloth. But Khabib has to fucking claim him. But if you really want to fucking break it down, like, that fool gets super angry and has suffered defeats as a coach under Ulanbekov. So I'm just saying.
Ulanbekov, I can absolutely agree, is the run of the litter, right?
He has an excellent excuse, though. He's always saying, like, hey, brother, I was trying to follow plan, and then I was getting my ass beat. My man's just not.
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's what Mike Tyson said,
He's
right?
a fake Russian. He's from Poland.
Well, I mean, that would explain why the beard's so fucking haphazard. Not very great. That being said,
I just don't expect him to have a really high output of a performance. Personally, Horiguchi's always coming out to make this an awesome fight. It was really fun to watch, but I can see why you take Alan Bekoff.
Horiguchi is a striker, primarily a striker, has no ground game whatsoever. So we're going to go with Ulanbekov with the wrestling. You know what I mean? He's closer to home soil. And I think all he really needs to do is get a hold of him. And once he gets a hold of him, there won't be any plan for Horiguchi at that point. Now, if he wants to decide he wants to test his fucking mitts and stand there and bang with Horiguchi.
Stand there and do what?
Then he's going to not win. We'll just put it that way.
For sure. All right, y'all. Moving on to the second matchup on this main card. We have a heavyweight bout that had short notice circumstances placed upon it. We have Shamil Gaziev going up against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Gaziev literally just this morning was slated to go up against Sergey Spivak, but Spivak, for unknown reasons at this point, had to pull out of the fight. Some phone calls were made, and Waldo Cortez Acosta, just weeks after a controversial
almost losing an eye.
He got poked in the eye.
Psych.
They stopped the fight, started the fight back up, and then he, got a knockout victory. And then 3 weeks later, he gets a phone call and is, flying from, his where he lives at to Doha, and he's going to make it happen on 3 days' notice against
You think if his eye poke situation was that serious, he'd be turning around to fucking fight this fast again?
I think he has.
Am I the only one seeing this?
I think he has more to gain and less to lose than Tom Aspinall, which is why he's trying to send a message and form some good favor with the UFC by not only saying hey, that fool fucking pussed out, I kept it going with a fucking eye injury, but then also I'm gonna turn around and fucking take out another top ranked fighter in the division. Hopefully probably putting him one fight away from the title if he's able to pull this one off. But he does have a lot of outlying factors against him. I mean, flying around the world
I see a lot of
is not any joke. That's going to play a factor in this fight.
I see a fraud check eventually coming his way. I wouldn't call it. It's not going to be this weekend because I don't think Gaziev, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's going to hold the belt. He may participate for a fucking, for one. But he's not rank contend for one. He's not going to hold it.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about. I mean, I know Gaziev is not an old fighter, but we're talking about a fighting style of yesteryear. Gaziev reminds me a lot of Tank Abbott. He's just in there to fucking brawl. in there to just throw bombs. Not a whole lot of technique.
Who you taking?
I'm going with Waldo Acosta Cortez.
Okay. I'm going with Waldo as well. So we all see the potential in the how this fight could go either way. With all of us pretty much with Waldo. So.
Well, yeah, and the reason I'm going to go with Waldo, that being said, is we're talking about a guy who just fought on the first of this month. You know what I mean? He's ready to go. We're not calling somebody off the couch. We're calling somebody that just went through a fight camp 2 weeks ago.
He was trying to quit his last fight, just saying, though, but whatever.
Well, I'll go ahead and spare us all the breakdown and all that good shit. I'm going to go with Cortez Acosta by KO or decision. I just feel like he has momentum. I think that his eye poke was a lot less significant than what Aspinall was dealing with, so it would be easier for him to turn around. And like I said, at this stage right now, he has more to gain than to lose because he's really trying to bounce back from that loss to Sergey Pavlovich, where that was his moment to really separate himself and put himself in that title talk for real. And he ended up taking a step back. So now he knows he has to take about 2-3 steps forward to really make up for that and put himself back in position. He said his coach looked him in the eye, asked him 3 times, fucking, are you sure you want to do this? And he was like, yes, I want to be a champion. I know what it takes. I know the sacrifice. I want to be a champion. And if anything, at the very least, he's doing a favor for the UFC, and the UFC loves when you do them favors, depending on how that favor pans out. Sometimes you could just do them a favor and you were just lucky to be a part of the show. But sometimes you do them a favor, and regardless of your circumstances, they're still going to find a way to get you a paycheck. So I just think Waldo Cortez Acosta is very live, and what's going down? Appreciate you. So yeah, I'm going to be going with Cortez Acosta. You guys are going with Cortez Acosta, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I apologize. For some reason, I thought we already kind of reeled through it, but we've had kind of a few conversations about it. But
I was just running through stuff, and
No, you're good. You're completely
to be totally
good.
honest, I like that y'all just popped in there. We don't always need a breakdown. Sometimes that makes my shit a little long-winded. So
We don't need to look like robots.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I completely agree with you.
So moving on to a welterweight matchup, we have Jack Hermansson going up against Maitbek Orobai. We have Hermansson coming in. They are 11-7 in the UFC, 24-9 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5. Orobai is 3-1 in the UFC, 14-2 with 1 draw overall, and are 4-1 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Orobai by KO or decision. They're going to be the younger and smaller of the two. Well-rounded, but leans to their striking. Definitely want to keep this one standing in at distance. Piece up Hermansson to decision or until a finish opens up, and just avoid grappling at all costs. Hermansson's going to be the older of the two by 10 years. Bigger in stature, well-rounded in skill set, but they're going to want to look to close the distance. Put Orobai on their back foot against the cage, and eventually, take them down, control them, open up a finish. They're going to want to stay measured with their output, avoid getting caught by Hermansson or, tied up in some type of scramble with them. A decision victory for Hermansson is going to want to be definitive given the location. Thing about Hermansson is they're moving down from middleweight at 37 years old after suffering a nasty KO from RoboCop just 4 months prior. So that's ultimately the reason why I had to go with Orobai. But what are your thoughts, y'all?
You make a great point. Whenever you get knocked out like that, these guys don't come back the same, and it's not like they can't take the ass whipping. It's like they intuitively won't allow it. You know what I mean? I feel like they get scared to get knocked out. They start fighting to not win, or fighting to not lose rather than fighting to win in those fights. And those fighters that get broken like that, because there's a few of them that could get knocked out and come back, and I wouldn't necessarily say the same, but still progressed and evolved as a fighter. But there's not a whole lot of guys that are capable of doing that. It's I mean, grown man don't take no ass whipping, you know what I mean? And I feel like getting knocked out like that, it's kind of like a signature fucking, it's like a pinnacle in anybody's career, you know what I mean? No matter who you are. I'm taking Orbai as well. I feel like he's going to be the aggressor. Good gas tank, better chin. I feel like Hermansson's going to want to get this to the ground. I feel like Orbai is going to be aggressive, whether it's standing up or on the ground, trying to pummel him with some ground to pound. But nonetheless, Orbai. Who you got?
We'll go Orbai as well. I don't think this is a one I need to break down too hard. We're talking about Jack Hermansson, who had his fucking noodle fucking shooken up, and he's 10 years fucking older than Orbai, even though Orbai looks like he's about 50. That being said, Orbai is for the win.
He looks like one of those Shaolin monks from like 1,000 years ago.
Moving on to a light heavyweight matchup and the featured bout on the main card. We have Volkan Ozdemir going up against Alonzo Menefield. We got Ozdemir coming in 8-7 in the UFC, 20-8 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5. Menefield's going to be 10-5 with 1 draw in the UFC, 17-5 with that 1 draw overall, and 3-2 in their last 5. I went back and forth on this one, but I ultimately had to go with Ozdemir by KO or decision. Younger and taller, slightly less rangy in this bout, but a striker, a powerful striker at that primarily. Should definitely look to keep this one standing. Pressure Menefield without getting overly aggressive or leaving themselves open for a takedown. So they're going to want to avoid the grappling and or getting drawn to deep water, even though if this does go to decision, it could potentially go in their favor, depending on how close it is. Menefield's going to be the older and shorter of the two, slightly longer reach and well-rounded. Getting better, even though that they're later on in this point in their career, they should look to mix it up, gradually close the distance to put Volkan against the cage or take them down and just control them to get that W or open up a finish. Once again, have to make it definitive, but they're going to want to avoid getting stalked and walked down by Volkan and just getting blasted because they can be knocked out. So they're going to want to look to possibly just neutralize that offense with getting them to the ground. But Ozdemir has just faced top-level competition. He's been in the top 15 for a long time, and he loses to the top echelon of the division. He doesn't lose to middle-of-the-road guys. And Menefield is really just, squeaking out split decisions or just decisions at that in general against prospects. So I got to go with Ozdemir in this one.
I'm going with Alonzo Menefield. I've liked some of his fights in the past. He's put on some really good fights with Omar Sy and Jimmy Crute twice. I just feel like this is what scares me with going with Volkan. Volkan's one of those guys who's like, when he starts smelling blood, he wants to go in there for the finish. And Alonzo Menefield has proven to where when he's just as dangerous whenever his legs are fucking wobbly and he's throwing random punches and haymakers to a guy that's going to come and run into one of those fucking punches. That's far more deadly to me than somebody that's going to come across and, just kind of land continuous combinations to get him to the ground. Alonzo Menefield has a proven chin, and I feel like it's anybody's punch. I just feel like Volkan's, his grappling and his stand-up, even for his stand-up, he has really good knockout power, really good overconfidence. So look for this dude to run in to finish it, and Alonzo, kind of fucking licking him one good time because he has that one-punch power.
So you going with Menefield?
I'm taking Menefield.
I'm going with Menefield as well.
Pardon my back.
He's just the better grappler of the two. I think
Sure.
they match each other very well in the striking. I think Volk just has a little bit more goofy motherfucker. Anyway, just has a little bit more volume. You're going to see a lot more volume. Menefield's a little bit more measured. You know what I mean? Takes his time, is very patient, waits for his shots. Great counter striker. So I think that's why maybe my co-host here believes that Volk is a little bit better because he just is going to wing more fucking punches out there.
Alonzo Menefield's got more buyout. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Way more buyout.
This is what I'll give Menefield is because he's faced these prospects and this younger talent coming up, he's probably used to seeing things at a faster pace, which potentially can make him faster. Whereas, Ozdemir is a little more just lunge forward, not lunging forward. But I forget what the words for. But he's gonna not necessarily be flat-footed, but he's gonna be a little bit easier to fucking.
Oh, for
track
sure.
and-
His footwork's
and
going to be
catch.
way easier to telepath because
Yeah.
he's going to be firing out of a square stance as opposed to trying to counter strike or trying to move into self feints. There's not going to be a whole lot of feints and moving, and you know what I mean. Maybe in the head and neck, but that's about it. We're talking about two big dudes right here.
Oh, for sure. I think somebody's going to get slumped for sure. But Cesar Marin says, banger of a fight. If it lasts longer than 2 rounds, they might hug it out due to being gassed out. If this goes to decision, it definitely could look good for Menifield. And I think that the finishing probability definitely lies more on Ozdemir's side.
For sure.
But it's going to be a good fight. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Steve's Lowlife in the chat, who is actually with us live, y'all. Come and check us out over here at Whiskey
Thanks
Bar.
for stopping by.
We only have a couple more events left in 2025, so make sure you come check us out for a live taping, y'all. Have a post-show drink, cigar, or blunt on the patio, whatever it may be. But make sure you come check us out. Whiskey Bar Denver, 2203 Larimer Street. Yeah, shouts out to Steez, though.
Don't be a stranger. Put yourself in danger.
Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we have a welterweight matchup. We got former champion Belal Muhammad going up against Ian Machado Garry.
Swordboard.
We got Belal Muhammad coming in 15-4 with 1 no contest in the UFC, 24-4 with that 1 no contest overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 bouts. We got Machado Garry coming in 9-1 in the UFC, 16-1 overall, and are 4-1 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Belal Epstein Muhammad by decision or submission. Hey, he said this shit, not me, bro. He said it. I ain't say it. He's working with 17-year-olds. He said, bro. I don't know what's going on, dog. Anyway, though, he's gonna be the older.
He's like, I've been making everybody scream and cry.
Muhammad's coming in older by 9 years, smaller of the two. Well-rounded in skill set, but definitely should look to mix this up. Gradually close the distance and find an entry for a solid takedown. Needs to pressure Garry, keep him on their back foot and grappling. Lean on him to a decision or, just pour some volume on. They don't necessarily need to make this definitive for that decision, but it would, anything helps at this point for them. They're just going to want to avoid being at distance and getting into any type of long-standing exchanges with Garry. Gary's going to be younger and bigger of the two, well-rounded in their skill set. Should definitely keep this fight at distance and just piece up Muhammad to the cards or until a finish opens up, but they're going to want to stay measured with their output, avoid gassing late, avoid grappling in that case as well, because I feel like he's proven to struggle with more well-rounded opponents, not just somebody who just grapples primarily or just strikes primarily. If you notice, his lone loss is against Shavkat Rakhmonov, who, if you look down his UFC record, that's the one well-rounded guy he's really faced over time in his tenure. So I look for more of the same with Belal Muhammad, just being able to keep him guessing just a little bit more when that takedown's going to come in and whether or not he'll be able to get back to his feet. But with that said, a decision victory will have to be definitive if it does go to the cards. I'm taking Belal Muhammad. Jokes aside, who we got, y'all?
I got Ian Machado Garry, Soy Boy. I feel like he's just going to be a little bit too much to handle for Belal. I feel like Belal might get excited trying to, his big thing is if he could out wrestle you, he's going to wear on you. If he figures out what fucking annoys you and what gets under your skin, that's what he's doing. But Ian Machado Garry, he's not one of those guys. He's not going to be able to get a hold of him and hold him and take his back. He's much bigger, stronger. He's just not. He's a predominant striker. I feel like Belal's going to be eating a lot of elbows and unnecessary knees and elbows and everything else that comes with to fighting a phone booth fighter when you're trying to stand real close to him. And Belal has some all right striking. I mean, we've seen it in the past, but I feel like there's levels to this elite shit, and I feel like, or for the striking, and I feel like Ian Machado Garry has the advantage in the striking. If this stands up and he stands in front of him, point striking game is what he wants. But Belal's after them cheeks, so I hope freaking Machado Garry has worked on his takedown defense.
I'm going with Belal Muhammad. I don't know. This fucking took a left somewhere at fucking Albuquerque. Anyway.
We all know where his motivation's at.
We just know Ian Machado Garry is not good against the grappler. That being said, is he the better striker? You know what I mean? I think he does have a hand or two above Belal Muhammad. Is he crazy better than him? No. I wouldn't recommend that Belal Muhammad get into his phone booth with him. Absolutely not. But can he, throw a couple punches out there to give the opening, to get him on the ground? Absolutely. Shoot the takedown and just wear on him. And that's what he's going to do.
I thought Belal Muhammad was the truth until Jack fucking smashed face down Atlanta and fucking came through and wrecked his shit and exposed him.
That's, again, because Belal decided he wanted to stand with somebody he shouldn't have stand with. He should have just gone straight to his grappling. I think he wins that fight all day long. The Madalena fight was purely an ego loss because Muhammad wanted to sit there and stand with him. If he had just done what he was supposed to do, he gets that one done. I think he's learned from that fight, and that's what he'll do in this fight. So I've got to go with Belal Muhammad.
Fairly their fight styles, Madalena and Ian Machado Garry, it's kind of the same. What you think?
I do agree that they're very similar, and so that's why I say
the only thing different is one of these guys like their old lady to see with another dude, and the other dude Jack probably doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cuck.
All right.
That's the word. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not a big fan of Ian Garry.
All right, y'all. All right. Moving on to the main event of the evening. We have a lightweight matchup with title implications on the line, y'all. We have Arman Tsarukyan going up against Dan the Hangman Hooker. We got Tsarukyan coming in 9-2 in the UFC. 22-3. Got Hooker coming in. They are 14-8 in the UFC. 24-12 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 bouts. I'm gonna be going with Dan Hooker in this one. They're gonna be the older of the two by 6 years and bigger in stature. Well-rounded in their skill set, though they tend to lean towards the striking for sure. But they do have good takedown defense. They're a durable / dog fighter. Definitely should look to weather the early storm of Tsarukyan. Keep this fight standing in at distance and just draw them out to deep water. They're going to want to avoid grappling in this one and just stuff those takedowns, draw them out to that, second half of the third round, and then just start to take over from there. And, not only get that round, but then, rounds 3 or 4 and 5. But once again, in that they have to put it on Tsarukyan to make it definitive. Tsarukyan's going to be the younger and smaller of the two fighters, well-rounded in their skill set as well. Definitely should look to close the distance, mix it up, and lean into where they find their advantage, which, in my opinion, is going to be on the ground or some sort of flash KO. They need to stay measured with their output, secure solid takedowns to avoid gassing late or getting out-dogged by Hooker just in general. They're going to want to avoid following Hooker around the cage and or getting stuffed with their takedown attempts. There we go. There's the real motherfucking Chike, man. There's motherfucking. There's the man right there. But yeah, I went back and forth on this one, but ultimately I've seen Hooker do some great things against some very high level competition that are well-rounded or definitely are grapplers. He did great work against Mateusz Gamrot. He did great work against Jalen Turner.
Talking about Tsarukyan?
No, I'm talking about Dan Hooker.
Dan Hooker?
Yeah.
If you're looking at each other's resumes, I mean, if you look over at Tsarukyan's resume, Benson Henderson, Patricio Pitbull, Charles Oliveira, Bernardo Arduche, Joaquim Silva, like the list goes on. Joel Alvarez, Cristo Gallegos, Matt Frevola. I mean, if you're looking at resume, you're going with Tsarukyan. If you're going with heart and somebody who's not going to quit and somebody who's probably has a sporadic way of winning, I feel like Tsarukyan, if he's not able to impose his will on you, he has a tendency. Thank you, brother. He has a tendency to, to stray off of the game plan. You know what I mean? And try to fight somebody at their own fight, and even though he hasn't lost a whole lot other than Mateusz Gamrot. I feel like Dan Hooker is just one of those guys he's been around for long enough to know what it takes to get through these dominant wrestler guys, which is fucking elbows and knees. You got to make it dirty. You got to cut them open. You got to make them pay for being that close. You can't let them just hug you and hold you down. And Dan Hooker's perfect for the fucking fight that Tsarukyan's going to try to come in and dominate, hold to the ground, and possibly try to give Henderson some ground and pound, but Daniel Henderson's just as dangerous on his back as he is on standing on top. You know what I mean? Like, he likes them dirty fights, like them phone booth fights, and I think this is going to be an exciting one. This is actually one I've been excited to look forward to.
I do believe it's going to be a very exciting fight, and unfortunately for my co-host here, Dan Hooker's not going to win it.
Oh, you're out of your fucking
Not
mind.
going to fucking happen.
You're taking Tsarukyan?
We're going with Tsarukyan. We're going with the guy who's 6 years younger. Statistically, 69% the guy who's younger is going to win the fight. Do you guys know that? No, you didn't.
I
You
knew
guys
as
don't be
soon
doing
as he
the
started
statistics like
drinking,
I do.
all his common sense was going to go out the fucking window again.
All the common sense.
Jesus.
We're talking about somebody who can grapple versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's not grappling anything.
He doesn't have to. He stuffs that shit. He neutralizes it, bro. That's why I'm going with
He's
him.
not going to be stuffing or neutralizing shit.
He's strong enough. He's strong enough to fight out Tsarukyan.
He is not. You
He's
guys are
gonna,
giving him too much credit.
This is the
Are we
thing.
not looking
Tsarukyan's
at
gonna
the resume of Tsarukyan?
Tsarukyan's gonna take him down early on in the match, unless he finds some sort of advantage on the feet. But he's gonna take him down early on, and I'm not gonna say that Dan Hooker isn't gonna be on his back, but I don't think he's gonna be able to finish Dan Hooker. And then Dan Hooker's gonna get back to his feet, and he's gonna continue to keep getting back to his feet as the fight progresses. And you can't really, starch Dan Hooker, at least not Dan Hooker as of late. You can't starch him.
He's a different Dan Hooker. I feel like he's had his time where he's been beat and accepted his defeats to where he didn't look like he put out his best work. But I feel like Charles Oliveira, early in his career, could say the same, and later on had a fantastic, fucking transition from somebody who looked like they had quit in them to a person that looks like they refuse to have any quit in them, period. It's hard once you see a guy lose like that to unsee him, you know what I mean? And Charles Oliveira has given me hope to see some of these guys kind of walk away from that stigma of going to give up if they're being dominated at what they're not good at.
Yeah. Arman, what are we talking about? Arman Tsarukyan is just fucking sticky. You act like he's gonna allow fucking Dan Hooker to just stand on up whenever he feels like. It's not gonna fucking happen. And how much effort does it take to stand up once you've been taken down? You can only do that. Let's give him 3 rounds of it. He's still got 2 more rounds of this shit.
Tsarukyan is explosive and dangerous in that first 2.5. And then after that passes, if he's not leading the dance or dominating, he starts to fade. I mean, dude is eating cheeseburgers and shit leading up to this fight. He does. I don't think he takes Dan Hooker as serious as he should.
He's an emotional fighter as well. This is what I like about Tsarukyan. He is good. And whenever he was earlier in his career, he was an excellent fighter. When he fought Islam Makhachev, that was probably one of his closest times of being defeated by somebody from Makhachev. Dan Tsarukyan when he was a pure wrestler, he was great. Now he's one of those guys, he gets hit real hard, he's like, ooh, he's got to get his lick back. That's not always a fucking move. You're going to go run into something crazy just because somebody got in the best of you. And I feel like he's an emotional fighter now. Like if he's feeling like he needs to get his get back, or if he wants to win. You're not gonna know what type of Tsarukyan you're in there with. I feel like he has too many. What would you call those fucking personalities? Like he has too many fight identities inside there. Sometimes in there, whenever he's with somebody he's real confident with, like he could dog out, he'll go in there and act like he's a fucking lion. And I've seen him in there, and other times where he'd fucking accept what was going on in there, like if he, like if he wasn't. So to me, he's just, he's a pick and choosy one of those guys when he wants to be a dog. So that's why I didn't take him.
Well, I'm picking the dog tonight because he's going to be a dog. It's going to fucking happen. Dan Hooker's going to look like a hooker. Dan Hooker's going to be on the fucking corner. And motherfucking Tsarukyan's going to be like, bring my goddamn money back.
We got Cesar Marin in the chat. He says, fight identity crisis, LMAO. Shouts out to the chat, y'all. Well, that's been the fight breakdown for UFC Qatar. Real quick, gentlemen, do we have any parlays? Because I do not.
No,
This is too close to call and or too many new booties on the card for me.
Hey, say so. Let us know what you got. You putting some money down? Let us know.
I'm definitely following Cesar on a couple of these prop bets that he got going on. My guy is the one with the gift when it comes to fights not going to the distance and determining which ones those are. So check out my guy Cesar Marin. Shouts out to him, and back to y'all.
Do you got some parlays there guaranteed? Absolutely not. He's not the fucking parlay god. I'm the fucking parlay god, so I've got the parlays.
Fuck this guy.
I don't even know why I fucking asked that question. We're going to go first and foremost with Izaganov. 10 years younger. Fucking opponent on the 2-fight slide. What are we talking about? Aliev, undefeated, 8 years fucking younger. You see a fucking trend going on here? Yakinanev or whatever the fuck it is. We're going with that guy. And then Orobai to finish it up. We're talking about oh shit. Let me go ahead and also Orobai, but then Waldo Acosta Cortez. We're talking about a 5-picker banger of a fucking parlay. Make it happen, Captain.
And if you want to shit your fucking socks for the night, I'd just throw in some Asu Amabayev. Personally, I think that's going to be a certain fucking submission on the ground. That is a guaranteed fucking pick. That's something I would pick guaranteed.
Do I have fucking Amabayev on there? You got me fucked up now.
No, you got fucking Perez with your losing
That's
ass.
fucking right. Because I wouldn't pick a fucking loser. That's why he's not on my sheet. I'm like, Amabayev. Oh yeah, we're not picking losers today, guys. 5 fucking pick parlay, 5-leg parlay. Get the money.
Once again, shout out to my guy Cesar Marin in the chat. He says he's got a 4 to 5 legger for fights not to finish on the night, and he's got the stats to prove that he knows what he's talking about. So, telling y'all, man, don't sleep on my guy in the chat.
Please put all that into the chat. Cesar, appreciate you, my bro. Let's see what we got here. Boom. Right there? Yeah. Oh, Cesar, see, you already fucked up a loader, my buddy. But,
listen to him say something.
No, it's the fights not to go to finish.
Oh, not
he's picking with.
Oh, okay, not to go to finish.
The loader fight, the Yakiev fight, the Riley fight, Costa, and Orobai.
Orobai's going to be a finish.
I don't think so.
There's going to be a finish on Orobai.
I don't fucking think so. He's not really a big finisher like that. I fucking like it. I'm gonna tail that shit.
No, he's been winning. He's been showing the results, man. He's been winning.
Cesar, I'm with you. I'm gonna be tailing that. You know what I mean? So we can win some money together.
Yeah.
Most def. All right, y'all. Well, make sure that you like this episode, y'all. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you share this channel with one of your friends. Make sure that you spread the word about Bros Talk MMA. And once again, if you're in the Denver area, come check out a live taping. We only have 2 more of these left, but we'll be here at Whiskey Bar Denver, 2203 Larimer Street in lower downtown Denver.
Shout out to Whiskey Bar.
Shout outs to them. Like, to be totally honest, they've blessed us with quite a situation that we haven't even scratched the surface on. We got to still show our bro host over here, Darren, some shit that he ain't even seen yet. Like this is the level up, and we still have levels to go. So
Hey, no Diddy, no Blue.
Hey, no Diddy. Definitely want to just shout out one of the drink specials here. They call it the Morrison. You get a beer and a shot for $6. Nowhere in lower downtown are you getting that kind of deal.
The average person would be fucking hammered. But if you're a risky fucking seasoned vet like Ray, it'll probably take you maybe 2 or 3, but it'll still get you there.
You know what I mean? Like, it may cost me $30, but I'm going to feel pretty damn good. That being said, there are some level ups coming in the future. I do believe we've got some things in the works, and we're excited to show you guys. So that being said,
like I said, we got 2 more events left, y'all, and they're going to be spread out. You know, we got, I believe this event's going to happen, and then they're going to take a break for the Thanksgiving and everything like that. And then we return in December with the last 2 events taking place, I believe, on the 6th and 13th of December. So after that, then we got 5 weeks we got to fill in before they start the Paramount era in January 24th, 2026. So, you know, we also want to still, you know, do some episodes here. So, yeah, we might get some guests on here or just
We might
have
throw
some
a little something, a little party, a little video game action, a little bit of food, a little hangout, a little bro down pretty much.
We got to do something with the space, y'all.
so yeah, absolutely, chat. If you guys would show up to an event, if we threw an event, that'd be interesting to know. Because we got a couple
I said we do an
couple
RSVP.
venues to get it set up with.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yeah, but once again, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bros Talk MMA. You can follow myself on both those platforms at Utica_SME. And yeah, like I said, like, subscribe. Shouts out to everybody that's been tuning in. Shouts out to everybody that's subscribed. You know, nothing but love to y'all. Really appreciate
Thank you for being in the comment section, all the support. I see you, bro.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, I guess with that all being said, is there anything else y'all want to say before we get on out of here?
I'm going back to back. It's motherfucking Ray Bucks, Michael Jordan. Mr. Give me my belt. Hand me my crown, the best there ever will be. The parlay god.
All right, y'all. Well, it sounds like we're going to sign out here. This has been another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, a.k.a. Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. You've already heard from one of my bro hosts.
It's your boy, Mr. Guaranteed. Nah, I can't do that shit like you. It's Guaranteed. It's Mr. Moneymaker, Mr. Never Miss, Mr. Paper Chaser, Mr. Give me Ray's fucking crown. Woo! Triple crown. Pound.
Mr. Don't make me use my belt.
Mr. doesn't even wear any pants on Friday nights. That's why we're shooting it Thursdays.
Yo, one more shout out to Whiskey Bar Denver. And with all that being said,
Whiskey.
y'all, until the next time,
We out.